Okay, let's try again. Hello, guys, to my live stream of this rat deck which I've built. Yeah, I spent a little bit of money on it actually as well, so it's gonna be fun to show you to you and to actually tell you what's going on in this deck here. Because I built it because one of my friends, he's owning us all the time, so I want to make a deck that owns him instead. And it's based on this commander right here. It's Caramonix, the Rat King. Yeah. And it's got Toxic, so 1, which means that player dealt combat damage by a creature also get a poison counter. So whatever damage they get, they also get a poison counter. But the real kicker of this card is other rats you control have Toxic 1. So all the rats I play in this deck also get Toxic 1. So, and the card also says when Caramonix enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of rat cards from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. So that's the commander. Really cool. And yeah, that's the card I based this deck out of. So really awesome. So then I'm just going to go through the cards one by one with you guys, and we're going to discuss some other cards which I want to include. I have this card which is called Pack Rat. It's Pack Rat's power and toughness are each equal to the number of rats you control, so that's good. So he gets stronger for all the rats I control. And I can discard a card and put a token into the battlefield as a copy of Pack Rat. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. We got this card as well. It's Stronghold Rats. The good thing about this card is that it's Shadow, so most players won't be playing Shadow. And whenever Stronghold Rats deals combat damage to a player, each player discards a card. But that does mean I have to discard a card as well, so that's kind of a bummer, but there you go. I still think this is a really powerful card right there. Then we got Jet Medallion. It's an artifact, and when you have it in play, all black spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. But I think I'm gonna have this in another deck because the spells on this deck isn't that expensive, to be honest. So I think this will do me a better service in another deck, which is more expensive. Then we also have this. I'm not too sure about this card though. It has nothing to do with the rat theme, but it's kind of cool nonetheless. I can't remember if I did have suspend cards in this deck or if it was another deck. We'll find that out soon enough. But it's a cool card. Yeah. So I can, well, destroy a player almost without actually killing the player. So pretty cool, nonetheless. And I have this. I'm also a little bit unsure of this, but this does fit the rat theme. Well, it doesn't fit the rat theme, but it does make the rats stronger. as adaptive automation enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, and then I choose rat. And that gives this guy poison 1 or toxic 1. Adaptive automation is the chosen type in addition to its other types, yeah, and other creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. So pretty cool. I'm not too sure if I'm going to have this in my rat deck, but because, well, the theme of this card isn't, well, that rat oriented, but still, it's a good, cool card to have. And last but not least, as they say, it is this card right here, which is really rat oriented. It's starting with you, each player may put any amount of life or pay any amount of life. Repeat this process until no one pays life. Each player puts a 1/1 black rat creature token into play for each 1 life he or she paid this way. So this is quite cool. It's a bit expensive though. But... So I'm having these cards as may be added to my deck. And I've already shown you the commander, which is this guy. Yeah, pretty cool. So then I have 99 cards left to show you. So I'm just going to start with the top here. Land, basic land. Icarats. It's pretty cool. This has infect though, and infect and toxic are 2 separate things. So infect deals. You get a poison counter on the players, but they also deal -1/-1 counters to creatures. So, but what makes this card really cool is that when Icarat enters the battlefield, each player gets a poison counter. So, and that means me as well. But hopefully, my enemy players won't be playing poison creatures. Yeah. And then we have this. I'm just going to explain this card once because I have 20 of them in my deck. And it's the Relentless Rats. Relentless Rats gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield named Relentless Rat. So, yeah, a deck can have any number of Relentless Rats. And in Commander, you can only have 1 card of each, but this card excludes that rule, so you can have any number of these cards in here. So, Big Boss, hello, welcome to the video. Yeah, so there we go. So I'm just explaining this once. I'm going to have 20 of them, so then I'm just going to show it to you and not say much, but now you know that this is the Relentless Rat, and, well, 1/5 of this deck is this card here, right here. Yeah. Swamp. Yeah, cool to have lands. I think I have about 30 lands in here. I should probably separate them into a separate pile so I can count the lands, because I don't remember how many lands I have. I haven't actually played this deck yet, so that's why I'm going through it with you guys, so you can give me pointers. Yeah, right about that. It's a recycle card. Yeah, but still, it's pretty cool. And here we got a Tangled Colony. Tangled Colony can't block, so that's a bummer. But when Tangled Colony dies, create X1-1 black rat creature tokens with this creature can't block, where X is the amount of damage dealt to it. So I can like give it like 10 damage myself, and then I suddenly have 10 tokens. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Diabolic Intent. I have to have a tutor or two in these decks, I found out. So, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you sacrifice a creature, and I probably got a lot of creatures in there, so no problem. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand, then shuffle the library. And mind you, I can shuffle a token as well, so the token that is a creature. Yeah. So that's cool. That's fooling the rules a bit. Sacrificing a token, which is a creature. Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay. With this, these can get really large. So let's say I have 11 of these, and I don't think I can choose which lands I have, man. I mean, it's just swamps, dude. But they got some cool designs on swamps, actually. So I think this is pretty cool. That's why I included it. But some of my lands look the same, so yeah. But this is pretty cool. I'm getting a backtracked here. Okay. So when I have this, I probably haven't seen the lands you're talking about now, but they're probably pretty cool. So I had to have an artifact in here which says equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. So even though this creature gets blocked, some damage still gets through with the help of this. Yeah. So that's why I included that. I only have one of those though. So one creature gets to get trample. The others don't. So I wish I had some all creatures get trampled, but I guess I don't have that. Yeah. Okay, another one of these. I've explained it, so I'm going on. Ruthless Disposal. I don't know if I need this though, but if I'm gonna change it out. But as an additional cost to cast Ruthless Disposal, discard a card and sacrifice a creature. So 2 target creatures each get -13/-13 until the end of turn. But the cool thing about this is that if a creature is indestructible, they get destroyed nonetheless, because it doesn't say destroy here, it just says -13/-13. So that's pretty cool. Here's another land for you, big boss. What do you think of this one? Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Yeah. And there's a house or something in the background there. This is just an aura, which I included. I don't know if I need it though, but I probably do. But my commander does make me draw 5 cards here, so I don't know if I need it. Enchanted Land has pay 1 life, draw a card. Yeah, so I will put this in my maybe pile, and yeah, for now. Because remind you, I have cards on the side here, which I'm also considering including. So, yeah. When Earthspitting Rats come into play, each player discards a card from his or her hand. Discard a card from. Okay. So this is pretty cool. It fits my discard theme. I think I have a discard, some discard effects in here. So yeah, so I should probably include this, even though it's not that powerful, because it doesn't get +1/+1 like these other rats I have do. But of course, it does get the toxic 1 from the commander, so that's still pretty powerful. Okay, here we have another land type, Ink Moth Nexus, it says here. Ink Moth Nexus becomes a Blinkmoth artifact creature with flying and infect until the end of turn. Is still a land. So that's pretty cool. It fits my Yeah. And Infect and Toxic are the same. They both give a poison counter, so they interact with each other, even though they're quite different. This is quite good. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each card exiled this way. I don't got much life gain in this deck though, so I might actually... I have this in my deck and I'm not... I think I should keep it. I don't think I should remove this card. It's pretty good. Because I don't want the deck to become too aggressive, because then I'm gonna die pretty early. Maybe this is one of the lands you're talking about, Big Boss. Field of Ruin. Sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Each player searches their library basic land card, puts it in the battlefield, then shuffles. Yeah. So, that's pretty cool. It's a land though, so I'm gonna keep it in my... Yeah, so you like that land, Big Boss? It's pretty cool. Here we have another rat card. It's a rat ninja, but it does say rat, so I guess it gets the... No, I haven't seen a new variants. No. They're probably pretty cool though. So it's got a ninjutsu effect. So how that works is whenever an unblocked attacker, it can be any attacker or creature or whatever, you return that creature to your hand, and then you put this into play by paying 4. And then whenever Ubi Gang Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, because it is attacking and tapped, that player discards 2 cards. So here we have the discard effect coming into play. Full force here. Yeah. So this is pretty cool. And it also gets bonuses from my commander, which gives it Toxic 1. So awesome. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. I'm not too sure about this card either though, because, well, I do got a commander that gives me cards or makes me draw cards. Yeah, Big Boss. Yeah. But I can't type in the chat while I'm streaming because I'm using my phone, so I can't do both. So that's a bit of a bummer. But I'm building a new PC now, so that should help. I'm putting this card in my maybe pile, so yeah. There we go. Another one of these. You know it's 20, so... And that's another one. What do you think of this land, Big Boss? It's kind of cool. It's a river and some stuff going on. It's not that dark as swamps go. Yeah, red goblins. That's awesome. A friend of mine has the goblin deck, and he destroys us each time with it. Lord Skitter's Butcher. When Lord Skitter's Butcher enters the battlefield, choose one. So here I get to choose one of the effects on this card right here. Create one black creature token with this creature can block, or you may sacrifice another creature. If you do scratch you, then draw a card. That's pretty cool as well. Creatures you control gain menace until end of turn, and menace means that 2 creatures are needed to block it. Ah, okay. You seem to know a lot of about Magic the Gathering, Big Boss. That's good. I also got a Fountain of Return, so sacrifice Fountain of Return. Return up to 3 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So that means that I can get back this, for example. So that's pretty cool. Gonna keep this. It's awesome. Yeah. What do you think of this land, Big Boss? It's kind of mystic. It's a swamp thing, and it's in the night. Pretty cool land, huh? Yeah. Oh yeah. So Strands of Undeath. Yeah. That's good, Big Boss. Yeah. That's a cool land to have. Yeah. So when this comes into play, a target player discards 2 cards, which fits my discard theme as well, and you can regenerate enchanted creature, which is okay-ish. Yeah. This land is so cool that I included 2 of them, Big Boss. What do you think of that? Okay. I'm not too sure about this though. The reason I have it is because it has suspend, and I think suspend effects are pretty fun. But destroy target creature, its controller loses life equal to its power plus its toughness. So if you had a creature that's pretty strong and you use this, then boom, the player is dead. I'm just gonna keep it for the funsies, I think. Yeah, it doesn't fit the rat theme quite well, but who cares? Another one of these, you know about that one. I got 20 of them, so here's another one. Yeah, you're confused about enchanting? Enchantments just stay on the board. If I enchant the creature and it stays there. So, yeah, until the creature dies. So, enchantment can also be on their own. Here we got this one. I did consider this guy to be a commander, but then my rats won't get a toxic counter or a toxic ability. So, but this one is pretty cool. I'm considering actually having him in my other deck. So he's got Death Touch. When CDC Undead Vizier exploits a creature, you may search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Yeah. So and exploit means to sacrifice. So it's a tutor sort of thing. I can sacrifice a creature with the help of this guy and search my library for a card. So. And if it's the commander, I get to do it more than once since he always returns into play. So, something to consider actually. What do you think of this land, Big Boss? What do you think of it? Pretty cool, huh? And it gives me no maximum hand size. I can have all the cards I want in my hand. It's pretty cool. Another one of these Relentless Rats. No explanation necessary there. This is kind of cool. Each other player discards a card from his or her hand. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. So if I'm playing against 3 others, and it says each other, so I don't need to discard a card, but they do. So if they discard a card each, then I get to draw 3 cards. Hey. Pretty cool. What do you think of this, Big Boss? What do you think of this? It's pretty cool. It's based out of Lord of the Rings, I think. Not too sure about that though, but yeah. And here we got the Suicide Bomber card. It's just sick shit, this card, yeah. It's the World Slayer. It's whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy all permanents other than World Slayer. So all creatures, enchantments, lands get destroyed except this sword. Yeah. So even the creature that attacks with this gets destroyed. Yeah, I think they still do the foil lands, man. So if you want to pay something extra, then you can get the foil lands. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. I'll be waiting for you. This is pretty cool. It's the same land that Big Boss loves. Bear Boss. Big Boss, sorry. Yeah, now I got 3 of them, so it's Big Boss's favorite land right there. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains Death Touch and Lifelink until the end of turn, which is pretty cool. Put a Dread counter on Grasping Shadows. Then, if there are 3 or more Dread counters on it, transform it. Okay. And I transform it by taking it out of its sleeve right here and turning it around and putting it back in its sleeve. And then it's suddenly a land, cave. And I get to add a swamp. That's sort of self-explanatory right there. But remove a dread counter from Shadow Lair, you draw a card, and you lose 1 life. So I get to draw cards here, up to 3 of them, actually. That's pretty cool. Okay. And this is a foil land. You see that, Big Boss? Have you gotten your bear? See that? Pretty cool. It's hypnotic, actually. I can watch this all day. Oh well. I'm not too sure where I'm supposed to put this though, but I think I'm just gonna put it back where it was in the deck and not in the lands, because it isn't a land from the start. Here's another suspend card, and I guess this is why I'm gonna keep the suspend cards. Target player discards 3 cards, and it only costs 1 to suspend it. So that's pretty cool. It's awesome. Yeah. What do you think of this land, Big Boss? That's getting to be the theme of this live stream, I think. I don't know what this is from though. If it's Lord of the Rings, or it looks like Lord of the Rings because of the. I think it's mithril in the walls there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. More relentless rats there. Yeah. They're not useless, mate. I mean, you should check the value of your cards. Because if you got cards that are that old, they may be worth something. You should check eBay. For example, Dregs of Shadows. Yeah, I just searched for Dregs of Shadows. No, Dregs of Sorrow, sorry, on eBay, and then I can find the value of it. So, Magic the Gathering is pretty cool stuff. You might sell it and get some money if you want. But yeah, old cards are pretty obsolete to today's cards. Today's cards are much more powerful. So, but they are valuable nonetheless. Yeah. So this sorcery, it's a sort of a board wipe thing. So I pay X amount of. Yeah, you don't want to sell. What if I told you that one of your cards may be worth $2,000? Would you sell then? Okay. So I destroy X non-black creatures, and that's no problem for me because I only got black creatures in here. And I draw X card. So it's a good way to destroy creatures and draw cards. And I should probably keep it because I don't have much draw effects in this deck right here. Yeah. One of these, another one of these, pretty cool. Yeah, it's sort of a. I wouldn't call this a swamp though. Maybe a plains that's flooded, something like that. Yeah. More relentless cards or relentless rats, relentless cards. Alright. Did you see the foil one? I didn't show you. Wow, $5, man. What the hell? Thank you very much. You didn't have to do that, but thanks. That's I'm humbled. And just for that, I'm gonna show you this land right here, okay? You deserve to see it. It's Shadow Lair, and you can see that. It's actually foil. So you can do this. You see? It's pretty cool. There's actually, well, there's different quality of foils, but I think this one is pretty cool because not all of the card is foiled, but only the background of the building there, and maybe the stairs. You see, so it's pretty awesome stuff. So yeah, so there, that was for you, mate. That was for you, big boss. Thank you for the $5. That's highly appreciated. Yeah. Okay, what else? I got to see this card right here. It's when vicious. Yeah, I'm beginning to understand what you mean, Big Boss, but I haven't seen him myself, so I can't say much about it. Sorry about that. Voracious Vermin is another rat, and it's also foil because you can do this and you get all sorts of effects on it. When Voracious Vermin enters the battlefield, create a 1-1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on versus Vermin. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I get to put a token in here, and when another dies, he gets stronger. So pretty cool, and it's also foil, so that's also kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. What do you think of this land, Big Boss? I haven't shown this to you. It's sort of a plains dash swamp thing, and there's some stuff going on in the background there. Oh, you say that? Okay, yeah. Game of Thrones is awesome, though. Yeah. Series 8 was a bit meh, but the other seasons are awesome. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So now, if all my relentless rats were in play, I would have 13. So they would all be +14/+14 here. So that means game over for the other players, if I get to live that long, of course. I have this mostly because of the meme. Yeah, season 1 to 5. It's awesome stuff, and it's probably some of the best storytelling I've seen on television. Game of Thrones. Um, yeah. This isn't a rat, but it's natural that I have a cat of some sort in the deck since there are all rats all over the place. So I have a cat here. It's a black cat, and when black cat dies, target opponent discards a random card. So this is a keeper. I'm not going to remove this card, even though it's not that good, because it fits my theme perfectly, and I love cats, so that's why I have it in there. And it's a sort of a vicious cat with the red eyes and stuff. So pretty cool. Yeah. So what do you think of this land, Big Boss? I think this also is from Lord of the Rings, yeah? I'm not too sure about that, though. A cat series, yeah. Weren't there some cats in Game of Thrones? I think there was at least one or two. You think this land is cool? I think it's awesome. I think it's from Lord of the Rings. It's right before they go into the last steps to destroy the ring. So glad I have this. This I'm not too sure about though. Play nostalgia only during your discard phase. Pay X life, draw X cards. I think this is a bit redundant. I think I'm gonna try something else right here because I already got a commander that lets me draw a lot of cards. So yeah, that's in my maybe pile right there. Oh yeah, and then I have this. It's a foil, so it makes it hard to read. Pretty cool foil though, nonetheless. Spells you play cost one less to play for each spell card with the same name as that spell in your graveyard. Yeah. But it only removes one, and that's one generic mana, so I don't know how powerful this card is, to be honest. Because I got this, and it only removes one from the cost, so it still costs two to cast this, but I guess if I got... Yeah, it's not that bad. It isn't, but it doesn't remove the black mana here, so I still have to pay that, because this card only removes generic mana. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to listen to you, Big Boss. I'm going to keep it. Even though it just removes one, it's still pretty good. Yeah. Because I only have to have one of these in my graveyard, and then this is already pretty powerful. Yeah. I think I'm gonna remove this in my maybe pile because I already have a commander that lets me draw a lot of cards. When Commandex enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, and most of my cards in this deck are rats. So I don't think I need this, to be honest. It's just redundant, and so that means I have this in my maybe pile. I've got this in my maybe pile. I've got this and this. I don't hate blue, man, but this is a commander deck, and I can explain it to you. The commander format is that you play with the commander, and the commander stays in play all the time. If he dies, it goes to the command zone and not the graveyard. So to get him back from the command zone, he costs 2 more each time he dies. So if he's died one time, then he costs, for example, 5. The first time you cast him in when you play, he costs 3. But then he dies, and then he costs 2 more. And he dies the second time, then he costs 2 more after that. So then it costs 7 to actually get this in play. So, and I have to play the colors on the commander. So this commander is only black, so I can only have black cards in here. Blue is my favorite color, so I don't hate blue, but this is a black deck, so I have to stay within the theme. If not, then I'm not allowed to play. I can't have blue cards in there, and if I did that, then then it wouldn't be allowed for me to play the deck because it's cheating. Because I have to have only black cards in here. That doesn't mean I can't have artifact cards because they are colorless. So I can have artifacts, but I can't have blue or white or green. So I hope that made it clear. But I do love blue. It's the best color, in my opinion. But I wanted to try something else, so that's why I'm trying this black deck right now. What do you think of this land, Big Boss? It's pretty cool. It's a swamp, but there's something going on in the background there. I don't know if it's trees or if it's the sky or what's going on. I don't know. But it's a pretty cool land nonetheless. I don't think I have this in my deck, though, this land. But it's nothing special. It's just a normal basic land. It's just the artwork that's pretty cool. I don't know, man. Red is probably my least. It's not my least favorite color. I can't say that, but it's the color I play the least and know the least about. Red and white and green, probably. I'm more specialized in black and blue. So I know a lot about black and blue. So ask me questions about that and I'll answer it. Another one of these, yeah. So I got 20 of them, as I said. So you're going to see them often. There we go. One more. What do you think of this land, Big Boss? I don't actually know what's going on here. It's all sorts of stuff. It does remind me of one of the last levels of Elden Ring, if you played that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I don't understand it. It's sort of all over the place. It's rocks and the sky, and you don't really know what is what. But it's awesome. It's a pretty cool land. And then we have this. It's a zombie rat. And it's yeah, probably. It's yeah, you're probably right about that. It sort of feels hopeless and desperate and very, very dark. So yeah. Lord of the Rings, have you seen him? This costs 4 to play, but it's got affinity for artifacts. So if I got 3 artifacts in play, it only costs 1. So that's pretty cool. It's got flying, and when refurbished familiar enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. That's awesome. And it says opponent, so I don't have to discard a card, which is even more awesome. For each opponent who can't, you draw a card. So this one is a keeper, really cool, and love it to bits, man. This artifacts. No, it's still a black deck, but I got a few artifacts in here. This is not an artifact. It's a black creature, even though it's a bit confusing since it's gray here and it looks like an artifact. It's still a artifact creature. It doesn't say. Well, it does say artifact here. You're right about that, though. Okay, so it is an artifact. Okay, okay. Thank you for pointing that out. But it's a zombie rat artifact, confusing creature. Yeah, but it's still pretty cool. So yeah. This is awesome in all points of the word or the phrase, because it's a cloak, but a crit creature is unblockable and can't be the target of spells or abilities. So that means that I can attack at will. Nobody can block it if I have this equipped on, let's say, these guys. And I equip this and I can attack, and these guys can't be blocked, and they can't have spells on them. So that also means that I can't throw spells on them either, but that doesn't much matter. It's awesome stuff. So yeah. Another at Lord Skitter's Sewer King, he says. So it's probably a bit yucky and smells a bit bad, but there you go. Whenever another rat enters the battlefield under your control, exile up to one target card from an opponent's graveyard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 creature. This creature can block. Well, this guy does 3 damage, but he also gets 1 toxic. So that's infect damage. So all the players in Commander have 40 life each. So I start with 40 life, and my friends start with 40 life. But the thing about toxic is that it's a different damage altogether. So you poison the players instead of giving them damage. So each player just needs 10 of these toxic damages, and they die. They lose the game. So. Oh, the one I showed before. Okay. You mean this guy? He's got 2 damage. So. But it's not the damage he deals, it's more the effects on him. So he's got affinity for artifacts. That means he's cheaper to cast. For example, if I have this in play, he costs 1 less to cast because I have 1 of these artifacts in play. And that's what affinity for artifacts means. This spell costs 1 less for each artifact you control. So yeah. And when he enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. And for each opponent who can't discard a card, let's say they have no cards in hand, I draw a card. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. But to answer your question, he only deals 2 damage. And with the cloak card, he still just does 2 damage, because the cloak card doesn't give him any boosts to damage or his health. But he is unblockable, so he can't be blocked. So that means he gives 2 damage and 1 poison counter if this commander is in play. And remember that if I attack with this dude and my target opponent has 40 life, then he has 38 life. But he has 1 poison counter because this card gives all rats in play 1 toxic. And players dealt combat damage by creatures also get a poison counter. So that means my target opponent has 38 in life left, but he also have 1 poison counter, and then I only need 9 more poison counters to kill him. So it doesn't mean how much life my friend has. If you have 6,000 life, if he gets 10 poison counters, he's out of the game. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Appreciate the questions, man. Just ask if you need any more info on anything, and I'll try to answer as best I can. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. it's poison counters. That's how it works in Magic the Gathering. Yeah. It's a mechanic introduced later. So if you haven't played Magic the Gathering, I can understand you're confused, because that was introduced in 2005, 2006, something like that. Yeah. I think I explained this card, so I can move on. It's whenever another rat enters the battlefield under your control, exile up to 1 target card from your opponent's graveyard. So it's a good way to empty out a graveyard from your opponent for some reason. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 creature. Yeah. No, as I said, you should check your old cards, man. You may be sitting on a gold mine, so you should check it out and sell it, and you might get. Well, you won't get rich, but you will get a little bit money for your old cards if you got rare cards. So, Eldrazi Monument. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have flying and indestructible. Oh, Jesus. Okay, this is awesome. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. If you can't, sacrifice Eldrazi Monument. Okay, so that's a bit of a bummer, but still. It's a sort of an end game card. I got 6 or 7 rats in play, and I play this. And they are flying and indestructible. They're not unblockable though. So my friends, if they have flying creatures, they can block them. So it's not the same as this. It's not unblockable, but still it's pretty powerful. Yeah, because it's got indestructible, and that means they can't be destroyed. So if a creature blocks it and actually kills the creature, it doesn't die because it's got indestructible. It needs to be destroyed by other means. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. When you played Magic the Gathering, the commander format wasn't even a thing. It was normal standard, and that was 60 cards in each deck, and you could have 4 of the same card in your deck, and every player had 20 life. But there was no commander, and yeah. But in commander, you can only have 1 of each card. You can't have more than 1 card. For example, this, I can only have 1 of this in my deck. I can't have more than 1 of this card. The only exception is this card right here, which says clearly says here, a deck can have any number of cards named Relentless Rats. So that makes the unique card rule obsolete. So I can have 60 of these if I wanted, but that would be boring. I don't want all my deck to be these cards. Yeah. Back to the land. You think this land is cool, Big Boss? I think it's from an angle, lying on the ground and seeing up into the sky and stuff. But it's still a swamp kind of deal. Pretty cool. This stream is taking longer than I thought, but that's okay. I love chatting to you guys and Big Boss. Yeah, Stone Cold 316 voice. That's awesome. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay. Oh, I don't need to leave, man. I think it's fun. I haven't had this much fun in a long time. I usually do these streams alone, so it's cool to have somebody to talk to. And I hope you're enjoying your beer, man. Piper of the Swarm. This guy, human warlock. Rats you control have menace, so that means that all rats need to be blocked by 2 creatures. They can't be blocked by just 1 creature. So that's pretty cool. So let's say that this dude has 4 other of the same cards. I got 4 more ones of these. So that makes it 6. 6? Have I done the maths right there? Yeah, I think so. So that makes it... No, that would be 7, actually. Because there's 5 of this total. So that's 2 plus 5, that's 7. So 7, 7. So that means if this is in play, then this would be had to block by 2 creatures. So yeah, so that's 7 damage to both creatures. So pretty cool. And I create a 1-1 black rat creature token, which is pretty cool. And I get to sacrifice 3 rats, gain control of target creature. So I can actually control a creature with this card as well. So if I wanted to do that, I can do this with this card. I have to have some removal in this deck, so this is one of them. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. So I need to have some of these cards as well. In case of emergencies. Let's say one of my opponents plays like the worst creature ever, and then I can play this. So crisis averted. Yeah. Yeah. 1 mana on 1 swamp. That's what it costs. So it's pretty cool. This costs 2 swamps though, and 1 mana. So what do you think of this land, Big Boss? It's one of the special lands, and it's a foil, you see? It almost looks like the Northern Lights. You see that? Pretty cool. Okay. This is a land, volatile fault. I thought it said vault, but it says fault. I don't know. Fault means, I don't know. This symbol means generic mana, so that's just mana which doesn't have any color. Sacrifice volatile fault, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. That player may search their library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. You create a treasure token, and that's just tokens we should get for doing some stuff. It's a new mechanic introduced a couple of years ago. Yeah. So, and with a treasure token, you can do all sorts of stuff. I don't remember what you could do, but you usually get 1 land, and then you sacrifice the treasure token. It's also draw a card. I think treasure token means you can draw a card and then you sacrifice the treasure token. So I think that's it. So yeah, pretty cool. But the reason I have this is because I want to destroy lands if my players have lots of powerful lands and a land that gives them a lot of advantages, then I have this and I can destroy their land. So, and I need to throw this in my land pile. And I got this archetype of finality. Creatures you control have death touch. And death touch means that any amount of damage that my creature deals is enough to kill another creature. So as an example here, let's see. If I attack with this, and as you can see, she only has 1 damage and 3 life right here. Yeah. But with this in play, she also has death touch. So when I attack, my opponent can block with a 20/20 and still die because she has death touch. So She also dies, of course, because there's no way to regenerate the creature, but I still get to kill her 2020 if I have this. So yeah, a lot of new rules, man. Dogged Detective is pretty cool, isn't he? When Dog Detective enters... Yeah, you can say it like that. When Dog Detective enters the battlefield, surveil 2. That's also another rule in Magic the Gathering that's new. So many of these rules are explained on the card. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest on the top of your library in any order. So, I get to look at my library and throw some cards in the graveyard if I want. If there's cards I don't want to use. So, pretty cool. And there's more. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you may return Dog Detective from your graveyard to your hand. So if he's died for some reason, then I can return it to my hand. Yeah, I agree. But luckily, they didn't introduce all these new rules at once. They introduced them little by little. So some were introduced in 2005, some came in 2011, and so forth. So it hasn't all come all at once. But the Commander format is actually pretty new. Yeah. These are lab rats, so it's a sorcery. Put a rat token into play. Treat this token as a 1/1 black creature. And it's got buyback, which means if I pay 4 more, that means this spell costs 5 total. You may pay an additional 4 when you play this spell. If you do, put it into your hand instead of your graveyard as part of the spell's effect. So that means that I don't have to throw this card in my graveyard after I played it. I can put it in my hand and play it on my next turn and do the same thing over and over again. Yeah, you can buy a... It's called a pre-con. You can go to your local store. I don't know where you live, but you can go to your store where they sell Magic the Gathering, and you can buy something called a Commander pre-con. It's pretty cool. It costs like... I don't know what currency you have there either, but if we say dollars, it costs $60 to $70, and you get a pre-con deck with 100 cards, a commander, and it clearly says on the box which color it is. So you can, for example, have red and blue, and you can buy that. It's pretty cool. And it's not that expensive either to get started with Magic the Gathering again. But you should keep your old cards and check their value, because you might actually be sitting on a gold mine, as I said before. Soul Ring, for some of you, this might be familiar, but for Big Boss who just entered the field again, it's an artifact which gives me 2 generic mana. And it doesn't have summoning sickness, so I can just play it and use it right away, since it's an artifact. It doesn't have... Yeah. This is a legendary card. It's pretty old, actually, but it's still really good. It's an equipment creature, which means it's an equipment. It's an artifact, but it's also an equipment, so you can equip your creature with this, and the equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from white and from black. So that means that if my friends control white or black creatures, they can't block it because it's got protection from it. So Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life. And you may return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I'm not too sure about this card though. I think it sways a little bit away from my rat theme, because here you clearly see a knight holding a sword. But my deck is, well, mostly rats, so how are they gonna ever hold a sword? So even though it's allowed to play this, I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile, because I don't think it fits the rat theme, man. So yeah, maybe my commander. It looks like he has some hands and stuff, but still, I'll find something else. Here's a land. What do you think of this land, big boss? You can bring a precon to a tournament, sure. Because precons are they're made to, you can take them to tournaments. It's not like they say you're not allowed to play that. So you can just buy a deck and bring it to tournaments or play it with your friends. It's no problem. That's good. It's pretty cool. It's Rogue's Passage, yeah. And I also think that, no, this is not from Lord of the Rings. This is something else. So it gets me 1 generic mana, so no black mana there. So, but what is cool about this card is if you pay 4 and tap it, then it says target creature can't be blocked this turn. So it actually means I can attack with 1 of my creatures without it being blocked. So pretty cool. Another one of these. Hylia's Crown of Winter. So if I pay 1 and tap it, then I can tap target creature. So that's cool to do if I'm gonna attack and I know that my target opponent has some creatures he can block with, and then I can just play this and tap 1 of his creatures. Oh yeah, I don't have to pay 1 because it's my turn. And sacrifice Hylia's Crown of Winter, draw a card for each tapped creature your opponent controls. So that's also cool. And it does fit with my rat theme because, well, I have a rat king here, so he needs to wear a crown, doesn't he? So, yeah. Yeah, no worries, man. Maybe I'll do that too. Maybe I'll get a bear. I will actually do that. Oh, that's good. I spilled beer on 1 of my cards. Okay. So that's why you need sleeves on your cards, man. I spilled bear on my commander as well, but he had sleeves on him, so he didn't get damaged. But my pack rat, you can see that there's bear on him. So thank you for the membership, man. You shouldn't spend all your money on me though, but thank you very much. Wow. And since you're a member, I'll mention you in all my videos from now on. That's a membership perk you get. So for being a member. So yeah. So all the videos I create, I need to mention your name. So there you go. So yeah. I think I cleaned it all up now. I think there's no more stuff going on. Okay. So cheers to Big Boss for the membership. Thank you very much. Okay, where was I? I was talking about this crown here, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep this. What's next? It's I think we've looked at this land before, Big Boss. It's yeah. I'm only myself in my videos. I try not to be all that conspicuous, but thank you very much. I highly appreciate it. And yeah, it's a cool land. It's a cool land. And here's your favorite land, Big Boss. I got one more of them, so I think I got 4 or 5 of them now. So yeah. Okay, you're gonna love this card, man. You ready for this? Check it out. Gauntlet of Power. As Gauntlet of Power comes into play, choose a color. Creatures of the chosen color get +1/+1. So I, of course, choose black since this deck only has black. And you can never choose artifact as a color because it isn't a color. But I choose black, and then whenever a basic land is tapped for mana of the chosen color, its controller adds 1 mana of that color to his or her mana pool. So that means if I tap this for mana, I get 2 mana instead of 1 with this in play. So it's just OP, man. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, so there you go. Cheers, dude. Okay, another one of these. I got 20 of them, so I'm gonna see them often. Another cool land. You've seen this one as well. It's a cave, I think, and it's mithril in the walls there. So it's Lord of the Rings, but it's awesome. This is a really old card, man. So maybe you've seen this before, though. It's Gloom. It's an enchantment. When white spells cost an additional 3 to play. Yes, I think you recognize this from your old cards. Because this is pretty old, man. I think it's 1999 or something like that. Activated abilities of white enchantments cost an additional 3 to play. So, there we go. I'm really drinking, man. What the hell? I'm really drinking. Check it out. Check it out. Okay. If I can do this right, though. Let's see if I can do it. Okay. That's me. And here's my beer. Cheers. Cool to chat with you. Nice. Awesome. Okay, here goes. Awesome. Okay. I hope you can see that. Hope you can see that. So. Yeah. So I'm really drinking beer, yeah. And even though it's not a rat theme, I think I'm going to keep it because, well, black is all about hating white. So this is cool because it makes my friends who play white have a harder time playing their spells. This card, this card is awesome, uh, and it's just a trolling card. It's just trolling my friends and myself, really. During each player's upkeep, that player discards a card at random. So it also means I have to discard a card. So, but it's awesome. It's just lots of fun for me seeing my friends discard their cards and getting angry because they have to discard their favorite card, and they can't discard. Uh, they can't choose the card they discard. They have to discard a card at random. So I get to pick a card they discard and so forth. So yeah, there's lots of skeletons in Black Man. I don't think I have any skeletons in here though. But another one of these. It's a yeah, yeah. I know. I think I've seen it. I know it's a good card, but this is a rat deck, so I don't have any skeletons in here. But I know it's pretty cool. Maybe I'll do a deck with skeletons and stuff and zombies another day. Yeah. Another card which is pretty cool. It's not that powerful, but it fits my discard theme, which is one of the abilities of this deck. One of the abilities is discarding, and this card fits the theme. It fits to the theme. It's a rat, and it's a discard card because when Ravenous Rats comes into play, target opponent discards a card from his or her hand. Well, it's not an unboxing per se because I made this deck myself, and I'm just showing you guys the deck, really. So, so it's not a pre-con as such. I've made it myself. Yeah, and some of these cards have cool texts as well that has nothing to do with the card itself, but it's sort of enhances the atmosphere and theme of the card. It says, "Nothing is sacred to the rats. Everything is simply another meal." So it's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, and I think this card sort of emulates what this whole deck is about. It's about rats and discarding and getting poison counters and me just being a bitch with my friends. But that's what Magic the Gathering is all about, man. It's fun. It's awesome to play Magic the Gathering, and I love it. So I'm glad my good friend introduced me to Magic the Gathering or introduced me back to Magic the Gathering. I've taken a break for 5, 6 years, but then my friend contacted me and wanted me back, so I'm glad I got back into it a couple of years ago. Or maybe it's 1 year ago now. Yeah. Time sure flies, but it doesn't fly that fast. Oh well. Cheers. Thank you for the membership. You're awesome. Season 6, you're talking about Game of Thrones now? I wanted another one of these. I can explain this again to my new viewers. Big Boss has been around for this whole video, but not everybody has been that around. So, Relentless Rats, I got 20 of this in my deck here. And the reason I can have 20 of this in my commander deck is that it says a deck can have any number of cards named Relentless Rats. And this card is called Relentless Rats. So I can have as many cards of this as I want. And as you probably know already, the commander format only allows you to have one card of each card. So I can only have one of this card, for example. Yeah, so I can't have any more of this. So I can't like have a new version of this card if it says Ravenous Rats. Because many of these cards have come in later versions with other artwork and stuff, but it's still the same card. So I can't have like Ravenous Rats and another Ravenous Rats with newer artwork. So I have to have just one of this. But this card is the exception because, well, it says here a deck can have any number of cards named Relentless Rats. So I can have hundreds of these cards if I wanted, but then my deck would be useless because I couldn't have any lands. So I have to have some lands as well. Yeah. So there you go. That's the long, boring explanation of that card. Yeah. Another one of your favorites, favorite lands, man, Big Boss. So yeah. Now I have 6 of them. A long time since I've drinking a beer. Jesus Christ, I'm getting sluggish already. Jesus. Beer, Jesus. Okay. Oh, House of the Dragons. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, okay, sorry. Me and my wife haven't seen that, actually. Um, we probably should see it. We did enjoy Game of Thrones and House of the Dragons. I've heard lots of good things about it. It does have Matt Smith, and Matt Smith is one of my favorite actors. He did a great job with Doctor Who, so we should probably see it. Uh, we'll get to it eventually, I think. But we're watching Fallout now on Amazon. It's pretty good, and I do love Fallout. I do love the Fallout games. Uh, I'm building a PC now, so I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch soon. I just have to build the last bit, and then I'm probably gonna play Fallout 4 again on the PC on survival mode. Yeah, because it's that cool. No, I won't. I actually watched Trump on one of his speeches. Actually, uh, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad. But I'm glad that Kamala Harris is running now. Joe Biden was getting really stale and really old, so I'm glad he's out of the picture. Okay, back to Magic the Gathering then. We're getting sidetracked here all the time, I think. But it's no problem. I'm enjoying my time. Yeah, don't spoil it though. We haven't seen the whole season yet. So, okay, Rat Catcher. This guy is called. He's cost 6, so it's a little bit expensive, but he's got fear, so that means only black creatures and artifact creatures can block him. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for a rat card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. So that's pretty awesome. You don't have to pay me any more money, man. That's cool. It's cool. It's great. I love you to bits, man. Don't worry about it. $5 is way okay. So now I got $10 from you. Jesus. So it's okay now, man. Okay. I'm already getting shit faced just because of one beer. What the hell's going on? An orc's poisonous stench is like fine kashkaval cheese to the nose is lowest to the ground. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm getting shit-faced here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that's the bear face right there. Yeah. And I haven't even drank half of it yet. Jesus, what the fuck is going on here? Okay. Okay, Big Boss, you ready for this one? This is pretty cool. This is awesome. It's probably one of the best cards in the new Commander format in black. Here we go. And it has nothing to do with rats, but it's called Toxic Deluge. And what it does is, as an additional cost to cast this spell, pay X life. So I get to choose how much life I want. Okay, I can pay 13 life. That means I lose 13 life, but all creatures get X minus X minus X until end of turn. So that means all creatures lose 13 life because that's what I sacrificed, and it only costs 3. Yeah, I should probably do that. Man up and drink another one. I don't think that's a good idea, though. It's not too bad, man. Sorcery is A-okay. But of course, my creatures die as well, so it's probably not that good of an idea. But there you go. Desperate times calls for desperate means. Yeah. Another cool land. I think I've shown you this one. Oh yeah, I still got this one, man. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, Profound Command. Yeah, go ahead, man. Just take how just take how many bears you want, dude. It's no worries. Choose 2. So here I get to choose 2 of these effects. Target player loses X life, so I can pay 2, and I get to pay how much I want, and that player loses X life. Or return target creature card from graveyard, mana cost X or less than the graveyard to the battlefield. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, or up to X target creature gain fair until end of turn. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And I think I'm going to keep that in my deck. It's pretty cheap. It's no problem. Another one of these Relentless Rats. I don't think you've seen this land, though, Big Boss. I think it's from Lord of the Rings as well, but it's pretty cool. It's a swamp. Razor-tooth rats. I don't know, man. I think this card is kind of redundant because, well, I already got effects that make it unblockable. So this is just a normal rat to me, and I think I can uh, remove this card and play something else instead. So I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile right here. Because in my maybe pile, I do got, for example, I can change this card out with, for example, this. This rat has shadow. So razor-tooth rats cannot be blocked except by artifact creatures and black creatures. Okay. But this rat has shadow, and whenever Stronghold Rats deals combat damage to a player, each player discards a card. So it's much better than this. So, yeah, even though it's got some cool artwork and stuff, but I think I can do better than this. I'm just going to put it in my maybe pile, and it will probably get removed. So there. Cheers! Yeah. We're approaching the end of the deck here. Yeah, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Yeah, it does say each, but so that's a small disadvantage there. But I get to choose which card I discard, so it's not random. So that's good. Well, the thing is, man, that I have lots of discard effects in my deck, so that's why I have this in there. Because, well, it's pretty cool to discard cards, and I want to. I get enjoyment out of seeing my friends discard cards. They just get annoyed because they don't have many decks that have that effect. I don't play in tournaments. I just play with my friends, and that's why I love this card because I love seeing my friends get angry. But yeah, the disadvantage is that I have to discard a card as well. Where did I have that? I had. Uh, yeah, it's a personal choice, and I have this as well, just to show you an example. I can throw this one on one of my rats. It enchants the creature. It gives it regenerate, which is okay. It's nothing major, but the good thing about this aura right here is it says when Strands of Undeath comes into play, target player discards 2 cards. So I don't know if you've seen the whole stream, but I've got lots of these, and I just love the mechanic of my players or my friends discarding cards. So that's why I have this. So yeah, and I think this is a much better card than this because, well, it's sort of redundant when I already have lots of stuff that makes my cards or creatures unblockable. So I'll probably change it out, I think, with this instead. But I'll get to that at the end of the stream. I just have to get through my deck here, and it's getting harder and harder because, well, I'm drinking beer as well. Okay, Crypt Rats. Crypt Rats deals X damage to each creature and player. Spend only black mana in this way. So it's a rat with a sort of a board wipe effect. Yeah, that's right. If it's got shadow, it can only block creatures with shadow. So if a target player or if a player attacks me with a creature with shadow, I can't block that creature if I don't got a creature with shadow. So that's correct. Yeah, so it's a rat, but it's also a board wipe if I want to do that. So it's cool. I think we're seeing these lands appearing again now, Big Boss. So yeah, you've probably seen this before. Another one of these relentless rats. I got 20 of them in my deck. So, and if I have more of them, then they get stronger. Yeah, the same one again. Uh, cool land. An old card, Bad Moon. It says, yeah. All black creatures gets +1/+1. So, but it just fits my theme. I think it makes all my rats stronger, and it's a cheap enchantment. It only costs 1 black mana and 1 generic mana, and then it's an enchantment which stays on the board till it gets removed. And all black creatures, which means that, of course, if other players also play black creature, they also get stronger as well. But that doesn't matter. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's the correct understanding of the rule, mate. So I can't block with shadow because I would be just punching at shadows if you attack me with a regular creature, which was a 1/1 red. So that's correct. Then we have this one. I'm not too sure about this one either, to be honest. During your upkeep, you may put a suit counter on Smokestack. During each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a permanent for each suit counter on Smokestack. So I love trolling my friends, but I think this is a bit overboard because I'll be trolling myself as well with this card. So I think I'll just remove it and find something else. I'm having fun discarding cards, and my friends are doing that as well, but this is a bit too much, I think. So I'll probably just remove it and find something else instead. Uh, Another cool land, Big Boss. I don't know if you're still with me. Here you go. What do you think of it? It's a sort of a cave kind of thing. I actually get some Elden Ring vibes from this, actually. Elden Ring is one of the best things that has happened to me in recent years. So this is pretty cool stuff. Yeah. We're approaching the end here. Just a couple of more cards and then we're done. Search your library for a card, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. You lose 2 life. Vampiric Tutor. Awesome stuff. It only costs 1 and it's just epic. It costs a bit though. Real life money. Yeah, but there we go. I just had to have it, so I paid the premium and got it. Last but not least, there we go. That's the end of my deck. So now we're gonna go through the. Just gonna have a sip of this. It's no problem, man. Kids come first, after all. Family comes first. That's the rule number 1 right there. Still got beer all over my table here. What the hell I've been doing? This is probably my most unprofessional stream I've had, but it's cool to talk to you guys and yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go through the maybe pile. The pile of cards which I am considering removing from this deck and replacing it with something else. Let's see the cards I am considering replacing first, and then we'll go through the maybe pile afterwards. Let me just gather my stuff here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I've drunk 1 beer here, so I think that's plenty. Okay, Pack Rat. Pack Rat's power and toughness are each equal to the number of rats you control. So this is pretty cool. I'm gonna have this in my deck, I think. It's pretty awesome, and it fits my rat theme quite well. Yeah. This I'm not too sure about, though. Black spells you cast cost 1 less to play or cast. Yeah. But the thing, though, is that I don't have many expensive spells in this deck. I really don't. No. So I'm not too sure about this one. I think I'm gonna remove it, and we have this. It's suspend effect, so that's good. Target player sacrifices half the permanents he or she controls. It's ultra expensive. It actually costs 10 if you pay the regular cost, but you can pay the suspend instead. So suspend 2. And suspend, I can explain that too. It means that you put a counter on it. You pay 4 and you get a counter on the card. Let's do it like this then. Okay, so you pay 4 and it says to spend 2. So 1, 2. Okay. So then it goes a whole round, and then it's my turn again, and then I remove one of these. But the card is still suspended. Yeah. And it also says at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if Curse of the Cabal is suspended, that player may sacrifice a permanent. If he or she does, put 2 time counters on Curse of Cabal. So that means if a player other than me sacrifice a permanent, then it suddenly gets 2 more. Right? So then it goes another round and I remove this. It goes another round and I remove this. And it goes another round and I remove this. And if no suspend counters are on this card when it is my turn, it activates. And then target player sacrifices half the permanents he or she controls, rounded down. So that means they have to sacrifice half their permanents. And permanents are lands, creatures, and enchantments. So they have to sacrifice half their lands, half their creatures, and half their enchantments. So yeah, I think this one is a keeper. Don't you agree? I think so. So I'm going to keep these 2. These 2 are in. So I'm going to leave them here so I can see it. There we go. Yeah. There, I already explained this card. I'm gonna keep this. It's awesome. So yeah, gonna have that. And then we had this. I'm not too sure about this one though. It's yeah. Yeah, but it does make my rat stronger and it's pretty cool, so I'm gonna keep this as well. Yeah. And then we got this. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of life. Repeat this process until no one pays life. Each player puts 1+1 black rat creature token into play for each one life he or she paid this way. So this is also pretty cool. Yeah. It costs 7 though, but that doesn't matter much, I think. It does fit my rat theme pretty good, and yeah. So there you go. That's 5 cards I need to add to my deck. And how many cards do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Okay. So I think we all agree on that this is just stupid adding this to my deck. It's just, well, it's trolling for the sake of trolling everybody, including myself. So what's the point? This card, I did explain this earlier in my stream that this card is pretty much useless. So I'm going to remove that. This, it doesn't fit the rat theme of my deck because no rats are really being able to hold a sword in any shape or form. So even though it's a pretty good card, I'm going to remove it. Pay 1 life, draw a card. I don't know, man. I mean, drawing cards, I mean, it's cool, but I already got a commander that lets me draw 5 cards, actually. I got a commander that let me siphon through my library and draw cards. And I get to add rat cards, and I have lots of them in my deck, so. This is also redundant. I'm gonna remove that as well. Same goes for this card, and it's also a sorcery, so it's not really that good. It's a draw effect, and I pay life as well, so. And life is actually a resource I need to appreciate in this deck because I don't have lots of life-giving stuff in my deck, so I can't have this. So removing that as well. And yeah. But that means, okay, how many lands do I have? Let me count the lands, because now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, which I'm removing. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards I'm adding. So that means I need to, maybe I can just add lands instead. But I don't know how many lands I have in this deck, so I need to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 29 lands. Okay. So I can just add lands then. So that means I have 31 lands. 32 lands. I think that's it, man. That's basically it. 32 lands, and yeah, I'm gonna be adding these cards. Oh well, I think that's it, guys. I think that's it for my rat deck. Thank you for watching. A special thanks goes, of course, to Big Boss, who's been, well, almost sponsoring this video, so that's awesome. Thank you very much for that. And he's also a member, so if you guys want to consider becoming a member, you're welcome to do that, and that greatly supports my channel and my eagerness to do more of these videos. So yeah, I finished my beer, man. So yeah, it's empty. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be posting a new video real soon of my second black deck, which is a very different deck altogether. And I'll be posting that real soon. But right now, I'm gonna take a break. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Love you. Awesome. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye.